Tuesday, October 10th, 2023, and 2 days in a row. It's been a very somber, quiet opening to The View, with a quick recap of what's going on in Israel, and then a live shot and a whole story from Israel, uh, you know, reporting on the ground. And I just gotta say, James Longman and Matt Gutman are so fucking beautiful. We'll get to the thing in a minute, but come on. Oh, swoon worthy boys. I don't know. Whoever's in charge of ABC News casting is like, it's got my ideal playbook right, right in front of them. Between them and David Muir and Gio Benitez, they used to have Tom Yamas, but he went to NBC, and Christopher Reeve's kid. Like, it is just like a cavalcade of these just devastatingly attractive men. Um, I think James Longman just married his husband recently, uh, but yeah, Gutman, he's been married forever to his wife, but he's now getting his little gray bits. Come on. Oof. Anyway, what they're reporting on is horrific. Um, and this is a really, it's a difficult one to address. the The problem in the whole situation is Hamas, and Amy Alyssa Farrah Griffin got it 100% correct today when she said nothing can happen. There will be no peace as long as Hamas is a state-supported group. It is blatantly a terrorist group. Their only mission is to kill Jews and eradicate Israel. Like, it's just, that's literally their stated mission. And the atrocities that they will commit in order to achieve that are uh, just mind-bogglingly disgusting. And that, I mean, that it's the definition of a terrorist group. So nothing advances as long as they are uh, as they remain a presence. And um, I thought Sarah Haynes did a wonderful job sort of laying all that out. And the point that needs to be made very clearly is that there's civilian lives being lost in Israel and in Palestine. Um, Hamas uses the Palestinians as a shield, um, and they don't have any place they can go. Israel sort of corners them in there, and the whole occupation of Gaza is what's making everybody mad. And it's like, what it boggles my mind why there just can't be um, a peaceful separation of these two pieces of land, um, because ultimately it's really, I don't know. It seems like it's fighting over land, over folklore from myths that didn't exist. But I don't want to disparage anyone's religion. Um, I and I don't want to say anyone who's native to that land doesn't deserve to be on that land, because a lot of the people that live in Israel that are native have been there for centuries, no matter what it had been called at any particular time. That's the region and the area where they are from. Um, so it's all just sickening. Um, and I don't have an answer. I'm not. I'm no Middle East specialist. It is way too delicate and way too, um, uh, fraught for me to be able to. I don't have a solution. I don't understand all the nuances. I think the president gave a speech today, very clearly pointing out what Jewish people have endured for over a century in modern, in a basically in the last 100 years, which I would consider modern society. um, Pretty horrific treatment, um, and there's nothing that justifies that at all. Um, Israel as a state doesn't always make the best choices. That doesn't mean that that's not an anti-Semitic remark. That's a an eye on governmental policy from a government that isn't necessarily always making the right choices. But then they who does? I mean, God, look at our own government. Fuck, what a shit show. Um, and so that doesn't always broker peace in the area, but there's nothing that warrants the actions of Hamas. Nothing, just nothing. It's disgusting. And I don't know how humans can treat other humans that way. Um, that's a radicalization that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But you can see how quickly it can happen and how fanatical people can get when we see bits of that in our own country. So you know there's a lot of evil forces in the world that are banking on strife and that foment it because it's good for them. Uh, and those are the ones we need to get out of power in a permanent way. Um, and the other thing that is really upsetting about this whole thing is that everyone, these goddamn idiots in Congress and other areas of politics, we stand with Israel, which is we should, and they want to support Israel and send them aid, but you can't necessarily call the Hamas attacks on Israel unprovoked. There is animosity there. There are actions that are being taken. Again, it's not justifiable for what's happening, but it isn't. It isn't like Israel was just sitting there, with their hands clean. So it's hardly unprovoked, but does it warrant this level of despicable war crime behavior and devastation? No, it doesn't. And so the amount of civilians that are going to die in Israel and Palestine is ridiculous. It's devastating, and it's just now breeding more generations of people that are just going to continue to resent and hate each other. So I just war doesn't help. But the same people that are saying we should support Israel are the same ones that are saying we shouldn't support Ukraine. And Ukraine was attacked unprovoked. That was just a full-scale Russian invasion when Ukraine had done nothing in an effort to suppress the Russian people or suppress the Russian government. Ukraine just wanted to be Ukraine and do its own thing and was doing great. And Russia just wanted it back. And Putin. And it's more of the hypocritical bullshit from the GOP about they're Russian sympathizers, they're Putin sympathizers. They know that their dear leader is beholden to Putin, so they're not going to speak out against him. And that to me is also just so hypocritical and disgusting. Keeping Ukraine free, keeping Israel free, keeping every country that we can help save their democracy is all about saving democracy worldwide. It's not, and it's also trying to prevent our own troops from going there on the ground. So if we can help other countries fight their own wars without sending our own troops, we should 100% be doing that. Unequivocal. Like, I just don't get it. And um, you know, of course, we have a House of Representatives that can't actually pass legislation because they don't have a speaker. We also have a former president who most likely gave, uh, you know, Israel defense and classified military information about the Middle East to Russia, who uh, gave it to Iran, who then supported Hamas. So I think that giant circle comes right back to Trump. Um, and we got to convict him on something eventually, because Jesus Christ, the longer he stays um, free, the worse it gets. But I fear that he did so much damage already. That's going to be decades to unravel. So that all sucks. Um, War fucking sucks.